Gunners, welcome back to Arsenal Daily Talk, your number one destination for the latest Arsenal transfer news, breaking updates, match analysis and everything happening at the Emirates. If you love Arsenal as much as we do, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications and let's dive straight into today's massive Arsenal news. Come on, you Gunners, breaking news Gunners. A shock transfer move could be developing at Arsenal. Arsenal fans, get ready because the summer transfer window could be about to deliver a huge surprise. The Gunners are reportedly pushing hard for one of the Premier League's most complete midfielders, Bruno Guimarães, with negotiations moving closer and closer toward a possible agreement. The Brazilian midfielder has been one of the most influential players in English football since arriving at Newcastle United. And now Arsenal are believed to be seriously interested in bringing him to the Emirates Stadium. This could become one of the biggest transfer stories of the summer. Reports suggest Arsenal are working behind the scenes to accelerate the deal, with discussions progressing and the possibility of a medical process being prepared if an agreement between the clubs is reached. But why is Mikel Arteta so determined to sign Bruno Guimarães? Why would Arsenal invest heavily in another midfielder? And could this be the signing that finally gives the Gunners the extra quality needed to compete for the Premier League title? Let's start with the bigger picture. For years, Arsenal have been building a squad capable of challenging the very best teams in Europe. Under Mikel Arteta, the club has transformed from a team rebuilding its identity into a genuine title contender. However, Arteta understands that winning trophies requires more than just a strong starting 11. It requires elite competition, experience and players who can handle pressure during the biggest moments. This is exactly where Bruno Guimarães comes in. The Brazilian international is known for his incredible ability to control the rhythm of a match. He can break up opposition attacks, create opportunities from deep positions and provide the energy needed in midfield battles. At Newcastle, Bruno has become the leader of the team. He is the player who takes responsibility when matches become difficult. And that leadership quality is something Arsenal value highly. The Gunners already have talented midfielders, but adding a player of Bruno's quality could take the squad to another level. Imagine Arsenal having even more control in midfield, more defensive stability, and another world-class player capable of producing moments of magic. That is the type of improvement Arteta is looking for. And this is why the Bruno Guimarães transfer story has caught the attention of Arsenal supporters around the world. The question now is whether Arsenal can complete the deal and bring one of the Premier League's biggest midfield stars to North London. More details are emerging and the next stages of this transfer could be extremely important. Welcome back, Gunners, because the Bruno Guimarães transfer story is becoming even more interesting. Arsenal's interest in the Brazilian midfielder is not just a simple rumour anymore. The club is believed to be exploring every possible way to make this ambitious move happen, as Mikel Arteta continues searching for players who can help Arsenal compete at the highest level. The biggest talking point right now is the reported progress of negotiations. According to reports, Arsenal are working to move closer toward an agreement, with discussions between the involved parties becoming more advanced. A potential deal in the region of £70 million has been mentioned, showing just how highly Arsenal value Bruno Guimarães and how much they believe he could improve their squad. This would not be a normal transfer. This would be a statement signing. Arsenal are not simply looking for another squad player. They want a midfielder who can walk into a top-level team and immediately make an impact. And Bruno's profile matches exactly what Arteta demands. He has Premier League experience. He has Champions League experience. He has played under huge pressure. And most importantly, he has the mentality of a winner. But behind every major transfer, there is always a complicated negotiation. Newcastle United know they have a special player. Since joining Newcastle, Bruno has become one of the most important figures at the club. He helped transform the team's midfield and became a symbol of Newcastle's ambition after their new era began. Losing him would be a massive challenge for Eddie Howe's side. However, football is unpredictable. When a top club makes a serious approach and the player is attracted by a new challenge, situations can change quickly. Arsenal's ambition could be a major factor. The Gunners are competing for Premier League titles and regularly playing Champions League football. For Bruno, a move to Arsenal could represent another opportunity to fight for the biggest trophies in world football. And this is why the next stage of the transfer could be crucial. If Arsenal can convince Newcastle to accept their proposal, the final steps of the deal could move quickly. The reported medical process has also increased excitement among supporters, although nothing can be considered completed until official confirmation arrives. One thing is clear, Arsenal are looking at Bruno Guimarães because they believe he can make a difference. They believe he can bring power, intelligence and leadership to the heart of their midfield. But what exactly makes Bruno the perfect player for Mikel Arteta's system? And how could Arsenal line up if this shocking transfer is completed? We will analyse that in the next part. Gunners, welcome back to another part of this huge Arsenal transfer story. If Bruno Guimarães arrives at the Emirates Stadium, this would not just be a big-name signing. It would be a tactical move designed to make Arsenal stronger in every area of the pitch. Mikel Arteta has always wanted midfielders who can do more than one job. Modern football requires players who can defend, attack, control the tempo and make decisions under pressure. And this is where Bruno Guimarães stands out. The Brazilian midfielder is one of the most complete midfielders in the Premier League. His biggest strength is his ability to control the game. When opponents press aggressively, Bruno has the calmness and technical ability to escape pressure. He can receive the ball in difficult positions, turn away from defenders and create space for his teammates. This quality is extremely valuable for Arsenal because Arteta's football is built around possession and controlling matches. But Bruno is not only a player who keeps possession, he also brings aggression and defensive intelligence. He understands when to step forward, when to win the ball back, and when to slow down the game. That balance is exactly what top teams need. Imagine Arsenal facing a difficult Champions League opponent. The match becomes intense. Every mistake can decide the result. This is where a player like Bruno becomes important. He has the personality to demand the ball, take responsibility and help his team through difficult moments. Another important quality is his passing range. Bruno can play short combinations to maintain possession, but he can also produce dangerous passes that break defensive lines. He can switch play, find attacking players quickly and create opportunities from midfield. For Arsenal's attacking players, having a midfielder like Bruno behind them could create even more chances. Players like Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard and other attacking stars could benefit from having someone who can control the game and provide quality service. But perhaps one of Bruno's biggest qualities is his mentality. Arteta has repeatedly shown that he values character. He wants players who are hungry, competitive and willing to fight for every point. Bruno has shown those qualities throughout his Premier League career. He plays with emotion, passion and confidence. Those characteristics could fit perfectly with the identity Arsenal are building. A midfield containing Bruno Guimarães alongside Arsenal's current stars would give the team more control, more experience and more physical strength. It would send a message to rivals that Arsenal are serious about winning major trophies. However, one major question remains. How would Bruno fit into Arsenal's starting lineup? Would he replace an existing midfielder? Would Arteta change his tactical system? And could this signing become the final piece of Arsenal's title-winning puzzle? We will discuss the possible lineup and the impact on Arsenal's future in part 4. Gunners, welcome back because now we are looking at the biggest question surrounding this potential blockbuster transfer. If Arsenal complete the signing of Bruno Guimarães, how exactly would Mikel Arteta use him? The answer could completely change the way Arsenal control matches. Arteta's system depends heavily on midfield balance. The team needs players who can protect the defence, control possession and create opportunities in attack. Bruno has the ability to contribute in all those areas. One possible option would see Bruno playing as the deepest midfielder, giving Arsenal extra security when they attack. With his defensive awareness and ability to read the game, he could help Arsenal recover possession quickly and stop dangerous counter-attacks. This would allow Arsenal's creative players to focus more on creating chances. Another possibility is using Bruno in a more advanced midfield role. His passing ability, movement and long-range shooting could give Arsenal another attacking threat. He has already shown that he can score important goals and create opportunities from midfield. For a team competing in multiple competitions, having a midfielder who can influence the game in different ways is a huge advantage. But the arrival of Bruno would also increase competition inside the Arsenal squad. Arteta wants every position to have world-class options. Competition pushes players to improve. It creates a stronger squad. And during a long Premier League season, depth can decide who wins trophies. Arsenal are fighting against clubs with enormous quality. Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea and other European giants all have strong squads. To compete with them, Arsenal need players who can perform under pressure every single week. Bruno Guimarães has already proven he can handle the intensity of English football. He knows the Premier League, he understands the physical demands, and he has experience playing in big matches. This is one reason Arsenal see him as a valuable target. However, there is another important factor: leadership. Arsenal have a young and talented squad, but every successful team needs experienced personalities who can guide others during difficult moments. Bruno has developed into a leader at Newcastle. His energy and mentality could add another level to Arsenal's dressing room. A player who demands excellence from himself and his teammates can have an impact beyond statistics. But while excitement is growing among Arsenal fans, the final steps of the transfer remain crucial. Negotiations must be completed, documents must be signed, and only after official confirmation can supporters celebrate a new arrival at the Emirates. So could Bruno Guimarães become the midfielder who helps Arsenal finally reach the next level? Could this be the signing that changes the Premier League title race? In part 5, we will look at the reaction from fans, the financial side of the deal, and what this transfer would mean for Arsenal's future ambitions. Gunners, this is the final part of our huge Bruno Guimarães to Arsenal transfer breakdown. The excitement around this potential move continues to grow, and many Arsenal supporters believe this could be one of the most important signings the club has made in recent years. Bruno Guimarães is not just a talented midfielder,